So everyone, please be on mute and listen. After that, I will ask you questions. And after this, you practice night every day till the next class, or at least this week, so that you will get it clear. So as you practice much, you will know how to apply the things which we learned. Okay. So I request you to practice as much as possible. Have free time, you can practice. Okay. So this is a night. Okay. And then this night moves 2 steps in one direction. Okay. This is the formula. Okay. It moves 2 steps.
Ma'am, I'm not able to see the screen.
Please everyone be on mute.
Ma'am, I
So
cannot
everyone
see
please be
the
on mute.
screen, ma'am.
You could not see the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry. Now is it okay? Now can you all see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, with the knight on e5. Okay, super. Then please be on mute. We will start again. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's do this. Okay, and this is the formula for how does a knight moves. Okay, formula means it's like something which we can take it as a help to reach to that square which we want to reach. Okay, let me not complicate. Okay, 2 steps in one direction, and it will and then land. Okay, so I will show it. So direction means up, down, this side, this side. Always remember that. So when I speak about direction, okay, in the night with respect to night, you can either direction or down direction, or this side or this side. So you can pick any side, any direction, and then take 2 steps. Okay, but the 2 steps should be a continuous step. Okay, if one step is up, the other starts. Okay, and then it takes a turn here. Only after 2 steps you have to turn. 2 steps continuously, then take a turn and land here. So this is a landing square. Okay, 2 steps in the same direction, take this land. So this green square, right? This is the landing square for this knight. Okay, so let me do it again. 2 steps in same direction. So the step should not be like this. 1 step, 2 steps. No, this is wrong. Okay, if you are taking this, it can either be up or down or any one side, this side or that side. Okay, but that 2 steps should be continuous. Okay, so 2 steps like this. From here, take a turn and land. So this is a landing square. Wherever the knight can land is called landing. Okay, and take 2 steps like this and then take a turn and land. So this is a landing square. 2 steps like this. Okay, 2 steps in this direction. From here, this is a turning, right? So if you stand here, then this will be the turn, right? So this square, or continuous 2 steps in this direction, take a turn and land here. 2 steps here, take a turn, land. 2 steps like this, take a turn and land. 2 steps, take a turn, land. 2 steps, take a turn, and so this is how a knight lands. A knight which is on e5 has these many landing squares. Okay, so we learned rook, bishop, queen, and king, right? This knight is not like them. Okay, knight doesn't it is going. Okay, it doesn't care about this way. We just learned these 2 steps and all and everything to remember and to make sure that we are choosing the landing square correctly. To reach the landing square correctly, that is what is important. The way is not important. It cannot control these squares. Okay, it can only control the landing square. Knight doesn't care about the way which it went. Knight only care about the landing square. So the way which we formed is by the landing square. Okay, to make sure the landing square is right, we use that method. 2 steps in the same direction, take a turn and then land. For a knight, landing square is only important. Knight is the only piece which can jump. It doesn't care about its way. It doesn't control its way. Attack any piece on its way. It doesn't support any piece on its way. If there is a opponent's piece here, the knight cannot do anything about it. It will not do. All that the knight cares is these squares. These are the landing squares. Okay, so all that we have to do with respect to knight is to find the landing square correctly. And without getting confusion, without getting confused, we have to find the landing square correctly. So that is why I chose this method. The same direction, take a turn, and then you land it. So landing square is what we care about for a knight. Other squares doesn't matter. Okay, so there is a piece here. Knight can still jump and go here. Controls the square landing squares, whichever is empty. Okay, knight has no business with all these squares. It only controls the landing square. If the landing square is empty, the knight controls that square. If the landing square opponent's piece, knight attacks it. If the landing square has the own piece, knight supports it. For a knight, only landing square is important. Knight doesn't care about its way. Okay, to find the landing square correctly, we are using this formula. 2 steps in the same direction, take a turn and land. That take a turn and land is what is important for us. Okay, knight controls the landing square. Knight supports the piece only on the land. If it is a white knight, it supports other white pieces only if it is in a landing square. Okay, knight attacks the opponent only if that opponent's piece is on its landing square. This is the only piece which can jump over its own piece. It can also jump over its opponent's piece. Okay, let's do some exercise, then you will get it clear. So there is a knight here. Okay, so all is for us to understand to find the right landing square. That's it. Knight has no business on its way. Okay, so this is a landing square. 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 This square, this square, this square, and this square. Okay, so like this here. Then this knight will have this as a landing square. How did I get this as a landing square? 2 steps like this, take a turn and land. That take a turn and land is what is important for us. So this square. Then 2 steps like this, take a turn and land. You should not see. I reach to E2, then you should not tell me this way. That is wrong. Okay, you should not tell first this square, then this square, then this square, because this is not continuous squares. Okay, if I choose up like this, then this one would be direction. If I'm taking upwards first, then 1, 2, then this will be the landing square. Okay, so if I'm pointing E2, how do you reach E2? Then 2 continuous squares this side, and then take a turn from here and land. Only when we get this right, confusions when we play with knight. Okay, we don't make any mistakes. When we make mistakes in the game, that is serious. That becomes illegal. When you make 2 illegals, you lose the game. I repeat it again. When you make 2 illegal, that is against the game. So we should try to avoid making illegal moves. For that, we have to be very okay. As we are learning, let's learn this properly. And I will never teach you L shape. Okay. And I don't want any answer like L shape in my class, especially for the night. L shape means how much big the L is. Okay, that is not clear. So I ask you, how does a knight move? It takes 2 steps in the same direction, and then from there it takes a turn, and then it lands. And you have to immediately tell, for a knight, landing square is what is important. Knight doesn't care about other squares. It only cares about the landing squares. And then the knight controls the land. Knight attacks the opponent, which is on the landing square. Knight gives support to its own piece only when that piece is on its landing square. Knight is unlike other pieces. Knight is not like a queen. Knight doesn't control its way. Okay? Knight doesn't control the way. Knight is not like a rook. Knight is different. Knight only cares about landing square. And then we learned knight is the only piece which can jump. Even if there is an opponent's piece, it can jump. Or if there is a own piece, it can still jump. Okay. So I'll do one exercise, then I'll start asking you questions. So this is the knight, and I want to take it here. Okay. So I have to go towards it, right? So first, let me go landing square. So I take the knight, put it on the landing square. So how did I reach this landing square? It was here earlier. 1, 2 in the same direction, take a turn and land. So this is the landing square. So I put it here. Now from here, I can take the knight here. This is a landing square. 2 steps in same. So this square. Okay. So then I can go here. This is a landing square. See. This is a landing square. Okay. Now I have to reach here. Then I have to find the landing square for both these points. So A8. So that one would be this. Okay. 1, 2 in same direction. And then I take a turn and come to B6. And from B6, 1, 2 like this. And take a turn and land will go to A8. So this is how I reach here. Do exercise. Now I want to take this rook to G5. Okay. So with whom we will start? Any doubt in this? I hope it is clear. Any doubt? Can you all hear me? Can you?
Your voice is breaking, ma'am.
All these times it was breaking. Did anyone hear me clearly? I just did the
No, ma'am. No,
last class.
ma'am.
Everything went well.
No.
Maybe if you are using Microsoft Teams, try to what is that? Update it. Okay, first option. Second thing, if the app is make login from the browser, you copy paste the link and put it in browser. Okay, so we'll start with Piyush. Okay, so this is the knight which is on A8. I want to take it to G5. What will be my first? So you have to remember this. 2 steps in same direction. Take a turn and land. Tell me the landing square.
Ma'am, B6, ma'am.
Okay. B6 is a landing square. How did he reach there? 2 steps like this. Then he took a turn and then he landed. Okay. So this
Yes,
is how
ma'am.
it moved. Okay. Now, can you tell me the second move, Piyush? So what will be the second move? Piyush, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
So
C4, ma'am.
try the second move. Same from there towards this direction, find the same thing. 2 steps in same direction, take a turn and land. That is the formula.
Yes, ma'am.
So where does the knight go? Okay, you be on mute. Isha, can you tell me the next move?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What is the next move?
Ma'am, first we need to start over from the first, ma'am.
Why from first? See, he told you the first move. First move is knight going to b6 and
Ma'am.
knight is in b6. From b6, where does the knight move?
It goes to C4.
You want to go to c4. You want to take the knight to c4. From c4, where do you want to move the knight? From c4.
Okay. To E3,
Oh,
ma'am.
you want to go to e3? Okay, I'll take this as an option. Okay, can you tell me the next move? From c4, can you tell where, do you have any other option to go from c4? Aldrin, am I audible?
E3, ma'am.
Destination is g5. So where do you want to take? Imagine knight is here in c4. Where do you want to take the knight? Hmm? I can you tell
B6, ma'am.
again? No, I didn't
E6,
listen properly.
ma'am.
Can e6
B6, ma'am.
d6 okay. So you be on mute now. Other option from here c4. From c4, where else can this knight move? Knight only moves to the landing square. So you have to find the landing square. This is one landing square from c4. Another one. Is there any other option?
Ma'am, there is. We can go to E6, ma'am.
e6. This square. Is this a landing square from c4? Check. Check again and tell.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
That is not a land. Square.
E5.
Very good. E5. Okay. So now be on mute. Shanvika, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
First option. Okay, our imagine knight is here. Okay, it has to go to G5. Okay, imagine the knight is in C4. It has to go to G5. First option is I have to like see. Second option is this. Third option is this. So which is best among these three? Which is easier for me to reach here? If you just think of landing squares, I think you can able to tell it easily. Only it seems difficult, but it's easy only. So which square will you pick, Shanvika?
D E6 E5.
E5. Why the square? So if you go to E5, then what will happen? Our destination is to go to G. I just imagine you're taking the knight here. Now you have to reach here. So where else will you go to reach here? Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can you reach to G5 in 2 moves? Would be the first move, so that the second move would be G5. Okay, be on mute. Leksha, can you answer? Others, please listen. Even if you are not answering, please listen, okay?
Yes.
So, so there is nothing wrong, okay? So just listen. Okay. Leksha, can you answer this?
Ma'am,
Imagine knight has moved to E5. It has to go to G5 in 2 moves. Second move, G5. What is the first move?
Ma'am, first we need to go to F3.
F3. Okay. So first move after F3, it goes to G5. Okay. So then Sai, are you there? So she said one way. Okay, we'll take knight. Knight is here on E5. It can reach F3. Then from F3, it can. Okay, from here, is there any other way to reach to G5? Can you check?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the square? E5. Then which is the first step? Second step would be G5.
Yeah, 5, ma'am.
Yeah,
7.
very
7,
good.
ma'am.
So this, yes, very good. So this is also possible. Okay. E5, either go to F3, then after that you can go here. See, from here 1, 2, and this is the landing square. From here, like this 1 square. If you are taking from here 1, 2, take a turn, land. 1, 2, take a turn, land. Okay. So I hope you all got this right. Okay, be on mute. So Anirudh, night
Ma'am.
is here on F4.
Yes, ma'am.
Now tell me one square it is controlling. So we learned night only controls the landing square. So you have to tell me the
It
landing squares from here.
controls these squares.
Which squares? Name. Even if you tell one square, that's okay, but I want you to be specific. Name. Which is the landing square for this night?
It is in F4. It is controlling F5. Then
Night is in F4. What is the landing square for the night?
it is it is more
Just tell the file and rank name, letter and number.
F5.
F4, F5 is a landing square.
Yes, ma'am.
So what did we learn about how to find a landing square? Repeat after me. 2 steps in same direction.
E2, ma'am.
E2 is a landing square. How did you reach E2? So 2 steps downwards, take a turn and land. So
Yes, ma'am.
Night is controlling E2?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can we say the night is controlling F3?
No, ma'am.
Very good. So night doesn't control these 2 squares. Okay. It only cares about the landing square. You got it right. Super. Okay. We
Mute.
next. Aldrin, can we say this night is supporting the pawn? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that pawn on the landing square?
Yes, ma'am.
Which square? Okay. So now Aldrin, tell if this knight is supporting this bishop, yes or no?
No, ma'am.
அவனுக்கு answer சொல்லாதீங்க. Please don't give the answer. Let him try. So knight is not supporting the bishop. Okay. Then, okay. Be on mute. Kashvi. Others, please be on mute. So
Yes,
Kashvi,
ma'am.
tell the squares this knight is controlling. Which on F4 is controlling?
Yes, ma'am.
Knight is controlling.
It is controlling F3, ma'am.
F3 is here. Does it control? No. And that landing square is the turning square. Okay, so now you find 2 steps in same direction and then it turns right. The turning square is what it controls. The turning square, we call it landing square. Okay, it lands, it goes and sits there. Okay, so tell me that square. Tell the landing square for this knight which is on F4.
I'm not getting.
Repeat after me. 2 steps in same direction.
2 steps
Kashvi,
in
repeat.
same direction. 2 steps in
Take a
same
turn.
direction.
Take a
Take a
turn
turn.
and land.
Take a turn and land.
Here, which is 2 steps and which is the turning square?
And the turning square is G-H-A-T. Excuse me, ma'am. A call is coming.
You take any direction. You either can go upwards and take a turn. Upward 2 steps, then take a turn. Or downward 2 steps. Take.
I have a call, ma'am.
You have to name me the square. Okay, you listen. I will ask you back, okay? So listen carefully. Okay, Piyush, can you answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Which squares this knight control? Can you answer? First square.
Ma'am, it is controlling E6, ma'am.
Okay, E6, very good. See, listen others, how did he reach? E6 is the landing square because knight 2 steps upwards, take a turn and land, right? That is what we learned. And this is the turning square. And this turning square is called landing square. And this knight controls this landing square. Got it? Okay, next square, Piyush.
Ma'am, D5, ma'am.
D5, very good. See, listen others, how did he reach D5? D5 is the landing square, which is correct. 2 steps this way, take a turn. This is the turning square. Okay, take a turn. So this is the landing square, D5, very good. After that, so here this is empty. The knight's landing square, if it is empty, it controls. Okay, next square.
Ma'am, E2.
E2. After that,
Ma'am, D3, ma'am.
okay. So be on mute. Next, Sai, can you tell which other square this knight is controlling?
Yes, ma'am.
Answer.
G6, ma'am.
G.
G6, ma'am.
Tell again. Sai.
G2. G2,
Okay,
ma'am.
G2. Then how did he reach G2? 2 steps downward, take a turn, and then you get G2. Okay, direction means either up, down, or sides. So that 2 steps must be continuous steps. Okay, so this in the same direction and then take a turn. So G2 is a landing square. What else? Sai, are you there? Okay, quickly name one more square. One more square. This F4 knight is controlling.
H3, ma'am.
Are you finding?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me. Same formula. Apply 2 steps in same direction.
H3, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Okay, you be on mute. Anirudh, find the landing square. Now Anirudh should answer. Anirudh, tell me the square which this knight is controlling. They have said these squares.
These white light squares, ma'am.
Which one?
These.
Can you repeat again?
It is an G2, E2.
Adalla solitanga. See, it's said. I want you to find which is missing. Two
missing.
You find and tell me. Yeah. All this is highlighted, which means someone said it earlier. I want you to find it new.
H3, ma'am.
Very good. H3, then one more square. Here.
H.
H.
H5.
H5. Very good. So for a knight, they're all landing squares. And when these squares are empty, the knight has a control over it. This square is having the own piece. This landing square, this is also a landing square. How did I find this as a landing square? 2 steps upwards and take a turn and land. 2 steps, take a turn and land. So this is a landing square. And in this landing square, there is a own piece, which means the knight is giving support to this piece. Okay. So now okay, quick. We'll go a quick round. We'll start with Shanvika. So now, Shanvika, should you say? I mean, you should say this. Okay. Is this knight attacking this queen? Yes or no?
Yes.
How is it supporting? Where does a knight support?
No.
Support or knight attack only on the landing square. So what did I ask you? What question did I ask? So is this knight attacking the queen? No, it is not attacking. Okay. If the queen is here or here, it will attack. Now it is not attacking because knight doesn't carry any piece on its way. It carries only these two squares. These two. Okay, this is the landing square. This. If there is an opponent's piece in any one of the pointed squares, then the knight attacks. Okay. So it is not a next. Aldrin, can you tell me if the knight is supporting the rook? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Aldrin. Knight is giving support to this rook because the rook is on the landing square. Okay. Okay. Be on mute. Now, third question is for is the knight, which is in E5, supporting or sorry, controlling G3? Knight controlling G3, yes or no? Isha?
Yes. No, ma'am.
She's trying to answer. Okay.
No, ma'am. Ma'am, no, ma'am.
No. Why? Because this is not the landing square. So
because it is
and
not
this. Okay. So this is not a landing square, so it doesn't. Okay. Next, Kashvi. Now tell me if the knight is attacking the queen. Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
No, because this is not the landing square, so it doesn't. Okay, very good. Okay, next, Leksha.
Yes, ma'am.
Is controlling even. Correct or false? True or false? Is the knight controlling even square from F4?
No, ma'am.
No, it is not controlling.
Ma'am, because
The knight is not controlling even.
ma'am,
Okay.
because it is not on its way.
No, you should not tell way for knight. You should only tell landing square. Knight doesn't care about the way. Okay? We learned this is the way, right? If there is a, even if there is a piece here, this knight still cannot capture this. Only if it is in the landing square, it can attack. Only if it is in the landing square, opponent's piece in the landing square, it can attack. Own piece in the landing square, knight can empty square, okay, which is a landing square, and that square is empty, then it controls. Okay, if, see if, this way is what we built. Okay, like we made it so that we find the landing square properly. Knight doesn't care about, even if there is an opponent's piece, it can still jump and go here. Okay, even if there is an opponent's piece here, it cannot take this knight. Knight cannot do anything on the way. All it can do is only on the destination. The destination is landing square. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So then uh, so now Piyush, tell
Yes, ma'am.
tell a landing square for this knight. F2 knight. One landing square.
Ma'am, G4, ma'am.
Huh?
Ma'am, H3.
H3. Very good. Okay. Be on mute. Then Sai, can you tell one more landing square for this F2 knight? Black knight. Sai, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
If I call you, just quickly unmute and speak, okay? So now, this is the knight. Tell one landing square for this knight on F2.
G4, ma'am.
G4, very good. So G4 is a landing square for this black knight. Okay, very good. Shanvika, can you tell one more landing square for this knight, F2 knight? Shanvika, are you there?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, quickly reply if I call your name.
D5.
So which square is landing square for this knight?
This. D3.
Okay, very good. So, okay. So shall we finish the class now? So Yeah, so night is something which you have to practice more and make sure, remember this point. You have to find the right landing square. That is how we are using that point. Okay, 2 steps in the same direction and take a turn. Okay, but really night doesn't care about the way. Night is the only piece which, okay, if you are speaking about a night, you only have to speak about the landing square. Night controls empty squares. Okay, landing squares which are empty, not other squares. Okay, night controls the landing squares whichever it is empty, where I mean if there is empty square that happens to be a landing night on it. If there is an opponent's piece on the landing square, knight can attack it. If there is own piece, but only on the landing square it should be. Okay, if there is a own piece on a landing square, knight supports. Okay, so it doesn't accept the landing square. Other pieces controls on its way, but knight is not like them. Okay, knight only cares about the landing square. Chalo, bye. Okay, so we'll finish the class now. Bye. Bye everyone.
Bye, ma'am. Bye,
Bye.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.